Hello, this is Goku Vitasum1, and I'm back this time to do a One Piece discussion video. I'm going to be discussing chapter number 799. There will be spoilers throughout. I am still debating if I want to make this a weekly series as chapters come out. I have 2 weeks because 800 is not coming out this week, it's coming out next week, so I have some time. But I do want to discuss this one because a lot of big things happened. Obviously, spoilers throughout, as I said already. And so I want to get into this. Now, I want to start out with the big question and spiral it from there. The big question is are these new people allies, or what are they? What happened at the very end of the chapter, obviously you know if you're watching this video, is 7 pirate crews. One was a fleet, but they were all crews of pirates, joined Luffy in some capacity, and they said that this is our chopping order. We're allies, yada yada yada. And Luffy has yet to say yes. But when and if Luffy does say yes, what does this mean? Are these part of Luffy's pirate alliance? And the answer is no. None of them are part of the alliance. The alliance started out with the Heart Pirates and the Straw Hats. And at the end of this chapter, or at the end of the next chapter most likely, it's still going to be the Heart Pirates and the Straw Hats. Why? Because if you look at all the data, all the information we have, these are all Straw Hats. Yes, we've gotten 7 full crews. And in one case, a lot more. We got 5,600 new Straw Hats, technically. Now, before you say, well, they're not going to be joining on the no, they're not. And they're not going to be Straw Hats in the way that we have the other ones, this is going to be the exact same thing that Whitebeard had, where Luffy now has a fleet he commands. Whitebeard had alliances, had allies, and they weren't part of his crew, but then he had people who he could give chopping orders to. And this is going to be the same thing, and I think at chapter 800, they're going to ask for their chopping orders. And Luffy, in my idea, what I think Luffy is going to say is, go follow your dream. Go achieve what you want to achieve. Go do what you want to do. But I do think they absolutely are part of Luffy's crew. I do think Luffy they outlined it. He's their boss. They're not allies. And to go farther back to the ally thing, later or earlier on in this arc, Fujitora asked Law, is Luffy an underling? And he said, no, we're allies. And in this chapter, Bartolome said, you're our boss. This is a parent-child situation. You are our leader. You are to give us orders. Now, I think Luffy, my guess is Luffy is not going to want to give them orders. He's going to give them the order to go follow your dream, do what is best, which is going to be interesting to see what Bartolome does, because from all I've seen, Bartolome's dream is to make Luffy's dream come true. He's a Luffy fanboy. He wants to see Luffy become king of the pirates. So it'd be interesting if he follows him and becomes like a stalker ship. And basically, whenever he gets over his head, he'll come in and say, hey, I'm here to help. But other than that, the other ones probably have their own dreams, probably have their own goals, and they're going to go do that. And Luffy is going to get in over his head, probably against Kaido. And they're going to join him against Kaido and help him take out Kaido. That's probably going to be the first time we see this alliance go through. And I think there's going to be a while. I think there's going to be a few arcs away. I don't think the next arc is going to be Kaido. I think it's going to build up to Kaido, but I do think Kaido is going to be a big thing that's going to happen, and I do think it's going to happen soon, but not super soon. I do think we are a while away between the Battle of Kaido, but I do think that might be where it is. It's absolutely going to be at the end of the series. But getting back to this, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Well, this is important to Luffy. Luffy doesn't want this. Luffy wants to do everything on his own, with his crew, of course, but he wants to succeed with his crew, and he can't. It can't be done. He needs allies. He needs people to be there at his back. And he's starting to gain allies, and now he's gained this. The other interesting question that I do want to throw this at my subscribers, see what you guys think. Um, will Boa Hancock ever join this? I think at some point, probably at the end of the Kaido arc, Luffy is going to become an emperor. I do think Luffy will become an emperor, or at least probably Law will be the emperor, and Luffy will be part of that. But either Law or Luffy will become an emperor. It's probably going to be Luffy. Luffy is going to become an emperor. I do think he will become an emperor soon, fairly soon, because yeah, would it kind of ruin it if he works his way up and he does become these different tiers? Maybe, but he has to have this. He has to have the government going, okay, you can have these things. Right now he doesn't have that. And Law is probably a better idea to become an emperor just because it makes things more simple. But I do think Luffy is going to have an emperor that is absolutely his ally. If it is him or if it is Law, I'm kind of back and forth. Who do you think it will be? But I do think there will be an emperor in Luffy's corner, and I don't think it's going to be Red-Haired Shanks, because Red-Haired Shanks is basically like, go to your journey. They're more rivals than allies, and I think that's going to continue. There's an interesting theory on what's going to happen to Red-Haired Shanks. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I might do a separate video. It's not something I came up with. It's just something I've heard. I heard it from Roger's Base. That's where I think I first heard it. I might have heard it somewhere else. But it is interesting, and I think it does have some merit to it. These things are going to happen. I can't wait to see what happens. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree with what I said. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me what the big question, what your thoughts on that are. Is Luffy, are these Straw Hats or are these just alliances? This was Goku Citizen 1, and I'll see you next time. YouTube.